Do you love history but can't stand the thought of another stuffy documentary with a narrator who sounds half asleep? Well, you've stumbled into the right corner of the internet. This is the only channel where thousands of years of complicated global drama, epic backstabbing, and questionable life choices get broken down with nothing but a keyboard, some slick editing, and a beat so catchy it should be illegal? Forget everything you thought you knew about history class. Here, we don't just learn about the past, we roast them, so buckle up, because things are about to get weird, wonderfully inaccurate, and hilariously educational. Welcome to the history lesson you actually wish you had in school. Did you know that Japan is a long island surrounded by a whole lot of not Japan? Expert military art commentary. This initial geopolitical context highlights Japan's natural defense barrier. The sea prevents easy invasion, allowing internal political and cultural development with fewer external military threats than continental powers face. So way back in the day, Japan was just some stuff chilling in the ocean, minding its own business, until some people came along. Expert military art commentary. Early settlement and the transition to a sedentary lifestyle Jomontu Yayoi are logistically vital. The stability offered by agriculture provides the food surplus necessary to sustain and mobilize larger populations, which is the foundation of organized military forces. What's that? It's the Jomon period. Expert military art commentary. The adoption of advanced agricultural techniques, rice, drives population growth and resource concentration, making the burgeoning Yamato region a strategic center of gravity and a high-value target for both internal and external powers. Hey, a new era. Let's grow rice. That's a good idea. Oh, what's that? It's a bigger, stronger empire next door. Expert military art commentary. Interactions with China are an early lesson in power projection and technology transfer. While trade is peaceful, the proximity of a superior military technological state necessitates rapid domestic development to maintain sovereignty. China? Hey China, you want to trade? Let's trade. We have some stuff. We'll give you some stuff. But guess what? It's the Yamato period. Expert military art commentary. The Soga clan's ambition is a political military maneuver and internal coup to seize control of the central authority, the emperor, demonstrating that elite political warfare is often more decisive than external conquest in early state formation. Oh, what's that? It's a family that wants to become the emperor. They're the Soga clan. Expert military art commentary. Moving the capital to Nara and focusing on Buddhism represents the consolidation of internal control. Centralized administration and cultural unity soft power are crucial prerequisites for effective large-scale military mobilization. New capital Nara. Let's make a big Buddha. Oh wait. Expert military art commentary. The rise of the Fujiwara clan in Heian illustrates how administrative decay can lead to military decentralization, forcing local nobles to develop their own defense apparatus, which will eventually challenge central authority. New capital, Heian, and the Fujiwara families in charge. Expert military art commentary. The emergence of the samurai marks the professionalization of Japanese warfare. This shift from conscripted farmers to an elite decentralized warrior class defined by a rigid code, fundamentally altered tactical doctrine, and social structure for the next 700 years. Guess what? Your local noble has become a feudal lord, and he's hired a bodyguard, a professional one. Expert military art commentary. The Taira-Minamoto conflict Genpei War is a civil war that acts as a strategic crucible establishing the principle of military governance, the shogunate over aristocratic rule, solidifying the professional warrior's place at the apex of power. It's the Taira clan against the Minamoto clan. Guess who wins? The Minamoto clan. Expert military art commentary. The establishment of the shogunate is a formalization of military dictatorship. The Minamoto family effectively made themselves the nation's permanent generalissimo, replacing the emperor's administrative function with martial law. New government. The shogunate. The Minamoto family is in charge. Expert military art commentary. The Mongol attempted invasions are a monumental case study in successful strategic defense, though heavily aided by weather kamikaze. It proved the defensive viability of Japan's insular position, but necessitated massive coastal defense spending and mobilization. Hey, guess what? The Mongols are here. Again. Expert military art commentary. The Ashikaga shogunate's cultural focus contrasts sharply with its military fragility. A focus on courtly life over maintaining military control inevitably leads to systemic weakness and fragmentation of the martial power base. New shogunate, the Ashikaga shogunate. They love art and culture. Expert military art commentary. The Warring States period Sengoku Jidai is a collapse into total war, where fragmented daimyo feudal lords fought ruthlessly. This era of continuous conflict drove military innovation, particularly in fortification design and troop deployment efficiency. Wait, where'd the shogun go? Oh no, it's the Warring States period. Everybody's fighting. Expert military art commentary. Oda Nobunaga's successful use of the arquebus gun revolutionized Japanese warfare. His decisive adoption of massed, Coordinated firepower over traditional sword and bow tactics is a textbook example of military technological superiority, forcing strategic change. Here comes Oda Nobunaga. He's got a gun. Expert military art commentary, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, regardless of his low birth, demonstrated brilliant operational art by consolidating the gains of his predecessor Nobunaga, completing the unification through a combination of swift campaigns and astute political settlement. Oh, but then he died. But then Toyotomi Hideyoshi finishes the job. He was a peasant, you know. Expert military art commentary. Hideyoshi's decision to invade Korea was a disastrous logistical overextension, a classic strategic blunder that attempted to project power onto the Asian mainland, without adequate logistical support or strategic depth, ultimately draining Japan's strength. Hey, wanna invade Korea? Okay. But then he died. Expert military art commentary. The Tokugawa shogunate's isolationist policy. Sakoku was a military strategic decision to achieve internal security by eliminating external destabilizing factors, primarily European religious and trade influence, prioritizing domestic political stability over global engagement. New shogunate, the Tokugawa shogunate. They want to isolate Japan. Expert military art commentary. Allowing limited Dutch trade was a calculated risk, a controlled point of contact to maintain a minimal technological window without compromising the core strategic goal of isolation, demonstrating risk mitigation in foreign policy. Oh, but what about the Dutch? Okay, fine, they can stay. Expert military art commentary. Commodore Perry's arrival was a successful operation in gunboat diplomacy, a pure display of overwhelming naval power projection that rendered Japan's isolationist defense obsolete, forcing a strategic and technological capitulation. The United States, leveraging its advanced steam-powered warships, presented a credible threat that the Tokugawa shogunate's traditional forces could not counter. This event served as a catalyst, demonstrating that Japan's centuries-old policy of Sakoku was no longer tenable in a world dominated by industrializing Western powers. The strategic implication was clear: either modernize or be colonized. This stark choice was not lost on the regional lords and samurai who witnessed the technological gap firsthand, setting the stage for a dramatic internal power struggle and a fundamental reevaluation of Japan's place in the world. The black ships were not just vessels. They were floating arguments for an immediate and radical change in national strategy, a shock to the system that forced a rapid and painful adaptation. Guess what? America's here. Open the country. Stop having it be closed. Expert military art commentary. The Meiji Restoration was fundamentally a military and industrial revolution. The new government rapidly adopted Western military technology and doctrine, understanding that national survival depended on achieving parity with Western imperial powers. The Boshin War, which solidified the emperor's power, was itself a showcase of this new reality, pitting modernized imperial forces against traditionalist shogunate armies. The Meiji oligarchs initiated a top-down revolution, guided by the slogan Fukoku, Kyohei, enrich the country, strengthen the military. This involved creating a conscript army based on the Prussian model, building a modern navy with British assistance, and establishing a domestic arms industry to reduce reliance on foreign imports. This wasn't just about acquiring new weapons. It was a total systemic overhaul, including the creation of military academies, the translation of Western tactical manuals, and the integration of industrial infrastructure, railways, telegraphs, and factories to support a modern war machine. The ultimate goal was to revise the unequal treaties imposed by the West, and the only path to achieving that was through demonstrable military strength. New government, Meiji Restoration. Now Japan is modern. Expert military art commentary. The successful wars against China and Russia, Sino-Japanese and Russo-Japanese, validated the Meiji reforms. Japan demonstrated it could effectively apply modern combined arms and naval power to secure strategic resources and spheres of influence, establishing itself as a major military power. The First Sino-Japanese War 1894-1895 was a stunning victory that showcased the superiority of Japan's modernized forces over the larger but outdated Qing military, resulting in the acquisition of Taiwan and a foothold in Korea. The Russo-Japanese War 1904-1905 was even more significant. Japan's victory, particularly the decisive naval triumph at the Battle of Tsushima, marked the first time a modern Asian power had defeated a major European empire. This victory not only secured Japan's control over Korea and parts of Manchuria, but also shattered the myth of Western military invincibility, earning Japan a place among the world's great powers and profoundly altering the geopolitical balance in East Asia. Guess what? Japan is conquering stuff. Expert military art commentary. World War II represents a strategic failure of resource projection and industrial capacity. The Japanese military machine, while tactically skilled, was ultimately defeated by the superior industrial logistical base and total war production of the Allied powers, specifically the United States. In the early stages of the Pacific War, Japan achieved a series of brilliant tactical victories, leveraging surprise, superior naval aviation, and highly trained infantry. However, its long-term strategy was flawed. Japan, a resource-poor nation, gambled on a quick, decisive war to secure the resources of Southeast Asia before the United States could fully mobilize its industrial might. The plan failed. The Battle of Midway was a turning point, crippling the Imperial Japanese Navy's carrier fleet. From that point on, the war became a relentless battle of attrition that Japan could not win. The American war economy outproduced Japan in every critical category: ships, aircraft, and munitions, while a campaign of submarine warfare and strategic bombing systematically dismantled Japan's industrial base and severed its vital resource supply lines. Oh no, it's the big one. World War II. Expert military art commentary. The use of the atomic bomb was a non-conventional weapon that completely circumvented all conventional and tactical Japanese defenses, forcing an unconditional strategic surrender by attacking the nation's core political will and capacity for resistance. By August 1945, Japan's military situation was hopeless, yet the government was deadlocked, with military hardliners advocating for a final, suicidal defense of the home islands. Katsugo, the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, introduced a new, terrifying variable. These weapons demonstrated the ability of the United States to annihilate entire cities with single bombs, rendering any conventional defense plan utterly meaningless. The psychological impact was immense, providing the emperor and the peace faction within the government the crucial leverage needed to overcome the military's opposition and accept the terms of the Potsdam Declaration. The bombs were a strategic tool designed to induce a political decision by demonstrating a capacity for destruction so total that continued resistance was irrational. Oh wait, bombs. Okay, we surrender. Expert military art commentary. The post-war democratic structure, with a constitutionally limited self-defense force, SDF, shifted the nation's strategic focus from military projection to economic development, creating a technologically advanced but strictly defensive military doctrine focused on homeland security. Under the American occupation, Japan was demilitarized and underwent profound political reform. The 1947 Constitution, particularly Article 9, renounced war as a sovereign right and prohibited the maintenance of land, sea, and air forces. This peace constitution fundamentally reshaped Japan's national identity and security policy. The subsequent creation of the National Police Reserve, which evolved into the SBF, was carefully framed within these constitutional constraints. The Yoshida Doctrine, named after post-war Prime Minister Shigeru Yoshida, prioritized economic reconstruction while relying on the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty for external defense, allowing Japan to dedicate its resources to becoming an economic superpower. New government, Democratic Japan. It's modern and peaceful. Expert military art commentary. Modern Japan maintains a technically advanced self-defense capability while relying on alliances, like the one with the US, to manage external security, a strategic choice that prioritizes domestic spending and economic growth over the immense costs of a global military. The Japan's Self-Defense Forces SDF are among the most technologically sophisticated and well-funded military organizations in the world, equipped with advanced Aegis destroyers, stealth fighters, and highly capable submarines. However, its doctrine remains explicitly defensive, focused on territorial defense, disaster relief, and international peacekeeping operations. The US-Japan alliance remains the cornerstone of its security architecture, providing a nuclear deterrent and offensive power projection capabilities that the SDF constitutionally lacks. This strategic division of labor has allowed Japan to thrive economically while navigating a complex regional security environment. Though ongoing debates about constitutional reform and a more proactive defense posture reflect evolving geopolitical pressures, now what? Thanks for watching history. I hope I mentioned everything. Now what? Thanks for watching. I hope I covered all the nonsensical details you'll never need to know. Seriously, hit that like button, or I'll send a medieval scribe to carve a strongly worded complaint on your front door. Subscribe for more content that feels educational, but is really just an excuse for my terrible jokes. And share this with a friend, because misery loves company, especially when it comes to bewildering historical facts. Until next time, try not to get lost in the past.